The Hellenic Air Force is the Air Force of Greece, with Hellenic being the synonym for Greek in the Greek language. Under the Kingdom of Greece from 1935 to 1973, it was known as the Royal Hellenic Air Force. The Hellenic Air Force is one of the three branches of the Hellenic Armed Forces, and its mission is to guard and protect Greek airspace, provide air assistance and support to the Hellenic Army, the Hellenic Navy, and to provide humanitarian aid in Greece and around the world. The Hellenic Air Force includes approximately 33,000 active troops, of whom 11,750 are career officers, 14,000 are professional conscripts, 7,250 are volunteer conscripts, and 1,100 are women. In 1911, the Greek government appointed French specialists to form the Hellenic Aviation Service. 6 Greek officers were sent to France for training, while the first 4 Farman-type aircraft were ordered. All 6 graduated from the Farman School in Étampes near Paris, but only 4 subsequently served in aviation. The first Greek civilian aviator that was given military rank was Emmanuel Argyropoulos, who flew in a Nieuport Alkyon aircraft, on February 8, 1912. The first military flight was made on May 13, 1912 by Lieutenant Dimitrios Kamberos. In June, Kamberos flew with the Daedalus, a Farman Aviation Works aircraft that had been converted into a seaplane, setting a new average speed world record at 110 km per hour, which is 68 miles per hour. In September of the same year, the Greek Army fielded its first squadron, the Aviators Company. Due to the retirement and obsolescence of units that have ended their operational cycle, the Hellenic Air Force was looking forward to acquiring new 4th, 4.5th or 5th generation fighters, and at the same time maintain a total number of 300 advanced fighters, according to the Supreme Air Force Council 2007-2012 operational planning study, which was published in 2007. Candidates for the new generation aircraft were the Dassault Rafale, F-35 Lightning II, F/A-18E/F Super Hornet, MiG-35, and the Sukhoi Su-35. During the Greek economic crisis, budget cuts forced Hellenic Air Force to ground many of its F-16s due to lack of spare parts and maintenance. Eventually in 2015, Greece requested from the U.S. government to provide spare parts in support of its F-16, F/RF-4E, C-130H/B, C-27J, T-6A/C, and other aircraft with systems/subsystems of U.S. origin. The estimated cost of this order was $160 million. In addition, past budget cuts, although did not have any significant impact on Hellenic Air Force capabilities, delayed some long-awaited programs for the future. The Hellenic Air Force Modernization Program estimated in 2007 that a purchase of 45 advanced training aircraft, 15 SAR helicopters, and 60 new fighters was necessary. Some of these programs have either been cancelled or delayed. To fill the gap, Hellenic Air Force has dedicated resources for the upgrade of the fleet of its existing Mirage 2000 and F-16 fighters. As of 2018, Lockheed Martin has been contracted to upgrade 84 F-16C/D Block 52 Plus and Block 52 Plus Advanced, Block 52M, to the latest F-16V Block 70/72 standard, bringing capabilities to the fleet only available in 5th-generation fighters such as the F-35 Lightning II. This upgrade has also been considered by HAF as an essential first step for future compatibility with the F-35 fighter, in case Greece eventually decides this purchase. While HAF's earlier F-16C/D Block 30 and Block 50 aircraft are not included in the upgrade, they are expected to receive equipment donated from the upgraded platforms. The upgrade program is scheduled to be completed by 2027. In July 2016, the upgrade of 6 stored Lockheed P-3B Orion naval support aircraft started, extending the lifetime of 4 airframes to at least 2025. The first upgraded aircraft was delivered in May 2019 and was assigned, as with all other 3 upgrades, to the Navy Aviation Command of the Hellenic Navy, therefore no longer under the command of the Hellenic Air Force. In April 2019, new developments suggested that, as part of the selection process for the new HAF advanced fighter, Greece was indeed considering the Lockheed Martin F-35 as a replacement of its older F-16 Block 30s or F-4 Phantoms and as complementary to the F-16V upgrade program, but the acquisition of the new aircraft would depend on the country's fiscal plans and Washington's ability to offer a long-term payment framework. At the same time, the U.S. Pentagon confirmed Greece as one of 5 countries to be considered as potential new customers. In January 2020, Greece formally expressed interest in acquiring the F-35 and participating in the F-35 program, following a visit by Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis to the White House. A figure of 20 aircraft was floated, to be acquired no earlier than 2024, following successful completion of the upgrading of the Greek F-16 fleet. August 2020, Greece looks set to acquire 18 Rafale combat aircraft from France. 10 will be the new-build CF-3R version and 8 will be older F-1 and F-2 versions already in use with the French Air Force and will be given for free according to the publication of Parapolitikon. According to the Greek constitution and the Hellenic Armed Forces doctrine after 1974, the armed forces of Greece are required by law to remain politically neutral at all times. In its early years, however, the Air Force was considered politically right-wing and royalist. Nevertheless, its officer corps proved to be the most politically left-wing of the armed forces. During the Greek Civil War, the officers of the Greek army denounced their Air Force counterparts as leftists and communists and considered them disloyal and unreliable. During the coup of the colonels, the Air Force aided King Constantine II in his failed counter-coup of December 1967, and many leading Air Force senior officers were tortured by the ESA men of Dimitrios Ioannidis. The only Air Force officer that had a significant role in the dictatorial regime was Antonis Skermaliarikis. After Andreas Papandreou and his Pan-Hellenic Socialist movement, PASOK, rose to power in 1981, ending a long conservative dominance in Greek politics, Air Force officers were proven to be among Papandreou's most enthusiastic supporters in the armed forces. Prime Minister Papandreou returned the favor, and in 1984 he made an Air Force Marshal, Chief of the Hellenic National Defense General Staff, making this the first time someone from the Air Force rose to occupy this position. In international politics, the antagonism between Greece and Turkey has made it imperative for Hellenic Air Force to maintain quantitative and qualitative balance. For years, more frequently than not, Hellenic Air Force and TAF pilots have engaged in mock dogfights over the Aegean Sea. Due to Greece's previous economic problems, it became less likely for HAF to purchase additional advanced fighters as originally planned. Therefore, this could have affected the balance of air power in the eastern Mediterranean region. This scenario has, so far, been prevented by negative developments in Turkey's F-35 program in 2019, rise of diplomatic tensions in Turkey-US bilateral relations during the same period, and at the same time, the decision of Greece to direct funds towards the further upgrade of its existing F-16 and Mirage 2000 fleet. Due to the existence of the joint defense doctrine between Greece and Cyprus, HAF is also responsible for the defense of Cypriot airspace, as Cyprus has no air force of its own. Hellenic Air Force aircraft have to be able to reach the island and remain over Cypriot airspace for prolonged periods of time and possibly under combat conditions. The distance between the nearest Greek air base on the island of Crete and Cyprus is about 700 kilometers. Furthermore, the Air Force seeks to have the ability to strike at distances of more than 1,000 kilometers from its bases. The primary camouflage scheme utilized by the Hellenic Air Force is the Aegean Ghost scheme. This is modified slightly for each aircraft type but is standard for all combat and transport aircraft in the inventory. Some training, search and rescue, and firefighting aircraft are colored partially or completely in high visibility colors for identification and easier location in case of an accident. The Air Force also frequently uses colorful commemorative schemes to mark anniversaries and other special occasions or for display purposes. National markings are applied to all aircraft, with a national roundel consisting of concentric blue, white, and blue rings displayed on the fuselage sides and wing surfaces, and a tricolor fin flash of similar blue, white, and blue horizontal stripes on the rudder. Aircraft in Aegean Ghost scheme may have low visibility markings applied, in which blue is replaced by dark gray and white by light gray. Originally, many aircraft in service retained the basic color scheme they were acquired in. Prior to World War II, combat aircraft were given a green and brown top scheme with white or sky blue underside, similar to the Royal Air Force. After the war, jet fighter aircraft such as the Sabre and Starfighter would serve in a polished metal scheme. Later, Most aircraft received green and brown camouflage again, consistent with the United States Air Force's Southeast Asia scheme, referred to as Vietnam camouflage in Greece. A-7 Corsair IIS would be some of the last aircraft to fly with this scheme, retaining it until their retirement, long after all over